Hi again then guys, and welcome to another special projects replica build, and this particular replica is of a car which did actually used to be featured on GranTurismo. It's a mines tuning vehicle, and specifically it's the R32.5 GTR Skyline. Now we do of course still have some mines versions on the game, but not this particular one anymore, which seems kind of strange given how popular the R32 is. Now visually, all we've done really is the rims. Now I've painted the car white because that's the mine's way, and the particular white that I've gone for is called Scotia White, which comes from Mitsubishi, but for the rims I've gone for Enkei RP03 5-spokes, which look fairly similar to the real car's 5-spoke rims, so apart from that there's no real need to go over to the visual tuning garage, and as you'd probably guess, we have based this on the premium R32. Technically you could do it on others as well, but I don't really see why you would. The premium is of course the best looking, the best quality. So we'll go straight over to the mechanical garage first of all for the tune replica, then take it out of course to a track to see if it lives up to the Legend of Mines tuner cars. Now of course I do always like to make these builds and replicas as PP relevant as possible, and thankfully this one is as well, 560 PP, and when you look at the spec that this car's got, that's actually quite a reasonable PP level given how much power this car is running, and that although it's a little bit heavier than some, it's not an overly heavy car. 1500 kilos with 621 horsepower is a pretty decent spec. Now I've gone for sport soft tyres to give it more of a street-based feel. We've left the brakes stock, or I have at least. You of course could upgrade those if you wanted to. I've got the ride height on the suspension on 120 front and rear because you don't want the car to look too slammed. That doesn't look authentic to the real vehicle. Springs we've got on 550 and 5, the dampers and anti-roll on 3. We've got neutral camber, neutral toe. As far as the gearbox, I'm not sure if the Mines version runs a different gearbox. I wouldn't have thought that it does. I may well be wrong though, of course. So I've opted to leave the stock gearbox of this car in there. As far as the clutch, flywheel and prop shaft, we've left those stock, just like the brakes. For the centre diff, we've got a 50-50 torque split. You can change that of course, and feel free to if you so desire. For the diff, we've got the lowest initial torque to keep the handling nice and loose. Acceleration and braking as high as possible for maximum control. As far as power, the actual car has 621 horsepower quoted. It used to have slightly less on GranTurismo 2, I believe it was, possibly GranTurismo 1. I think it had 618 on that game, but close enough. So I've got an oil change, stage 2 engine tune, high RPM turbo, intake tuning, sports computer, and the manifold, and then reduced it down to 94.6%. And as far as the weight, it's really easy because you just leave it stock. Now that weight is according to the old GranTurismo game, so whether or not that's actually accurate, I don't know. Apart from that, I wasn't able to find the weight of the car, so if you are able to, feel free to slap that down in the comments if it is different to 1500 kilos. So that's overall for the mechanical setup. A relatively simple one as far as these go. So now finally let's take it out to a track to see what exactly it's capable of. Now I have to say I am not really a fan of the R32 Skyline. I don't dislike the car, I just personally prefer the R33 and R34. However, I have to say as well, this is one of the most fun replicas I have ever built in terms of handling. I was actually shocked and really pleasantly surprised by just how good the handling is on this car. It is incredible. The speeds that this car can hold through corners is monstrous. And although the brakes and grip do give out at the higher levels of performance, which is good, you want it to feel like that, more like a street car, this is a seriously capable competition machine. So if you do use this at the 560 PP level, I guarantee you'll have a strong chance of winning races because it is rapid. Fast does not even cover what this car is. It is incredible through corners. And it really doesn't feel like a 1500 kilo car either. So if you do use this build, I guarantee you'll find it fun. So if you'd like to keep up with other replicas and builds like this in the future, be sure to hit subscribe down below to keep up with those as soon as they're released. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.